Deep in the heart of the English countryside, surrounded by the natural world he loved, Dr. Edward Bach, a scientist and philosopher, perfected his life's work that was to revolutionize the way we look at health. Edward Bach, a noted doctor and homeopath, created a unique system of medicine, harnessing the healing properties of flowers and plants in his Bach flower remedies. His philosophy was simple but radical. He recognized, as many doctors do today, that attitude of mind plays a vital role in maintaining health and recovering from illness.
Behind all disease lie our fears, anxieties, our greed, our likes and dislikes. Let us seek these out and heal them, and with the healing of them will go the disease from which we suffer.
He realized that his patients' emotions were often the root cause of their illness. In many instances, improving their emotional well-being would send them on the road to recovery.
Treat the patient, not the disease.
It is this total absolute focus on the mental state of the sufferer that makes Dr. Bach's approach to health so exceptional. His observations led him to the conclusion that certain types of people reacted in the same way to different illnesses and treatments. He categorized 38 negative emotions, such as guilt, terror, impatience, and resentment, as the building blocks of all our negative mental states. Dr. Bach found that energy held within certain plants specifically related to those human emotions. It was the search for these plants that took Dr. Bach out into the countryside of England and Wales. In Wales, he found impatiens and mimulus growing wild. He prepared the remedies and prescribed them according to the personality of his patients, with immediate and remarkable results. Between 1930 and 1934, Dr. Bach travelled all over England and Wales looking for new remedies to add to the first two. He had found and tested 19 remedies by the time he settled in Mount Vernon in 1934, and there he found a further 19 remedies to complete the series. It was during this time that Dr. Bach first called on Nelsons to aid him in his work. He would travel from Sotwell to London with a supply of mother tinctures so that Nelsons could prepare stock remedies for sale to the public. After 7 years of research, Dr. Bach announced that his work was complete. A year later, in November 1936, he died peacefully in his sleep. "60 years on, the 38 remedies are still carefully prepared according to his methods and instructions in the same house where he spent his latter years. The house, Mount Vernon, is known as the Bach Centre, and the remedies prepared there are the Bach flower remedies." John Ramsell worked with Dr. Bach's original assistants, Nora Weeks and Victor Bullen, and now he and his daughter, Judy Howard, are custodians of the legacy.
Dr. Bach was a great believer in simplicity, and before he died, he told his friends Nora Weeks and Victor Bullen how he wanted his work to continue after he'd gone. The Bach Centre exists to continue to uphold those promises that Nora and Victor made to Dr. Bach, promises to keep the work pure and simple and straightforward and available to everyone. We're a small team here at the Bach Centre. There are only 8 of us, and we personally prepare the mother tinctures for the Bach flower remedies each year. Many times we use the same locations that Dr. Bach himself chose back in the 1930s. We've always made these tinctures, and we always will, because that way we know they've been made properly, and that's how we can give the remedies our personal guarantee.
There are 2 methods of preparing the mother tinctures for the Bach flower remedies. Dr. Bach devised the sun method to prepare 20 of the remedies. Delicate blooms are picked at their peak and left for 3 hours in sunlight to transfer their energy into spring water. The remaining 18 remedies are prepared using the boiling method. The flowering parts are boiled for half an hour, also in spring water. The resulting energized liquid is mixed with an equal quantity of 40% brandy to produce the mother tincture.
It was Dr. Bach's greatest wish to see the remedies in every home throughout the world. We used to bottle up the mother tinctures into stock bottles and send them off from Mount Vernon, but because of the limited access and space here, there came a point when we simply couldn't fill and pack enough bottles to supply the needs of everyone who wanted them. That's why we re-established our ties with Nelson's to bottle and distribute the remedies so that everyone could have the chance to heal themselves and the people around them, just as Dr. Bach wanted.
The original pharmacy that Dr. Bach used to visit is still there today. Robert Wilson, managing director of Nelson's, is justly proud of his company's heritage.
Nelson's is 135 years old and is in fact the oldest homeopathic pharmacy in Europe. It is still very much a family business, and as a family we are extremely committed to holistic health care, and in particular getting it recognized and accepted by the medical establishment.
Bach therapy would be very good for you.
Nelson's relationship with Dr. Bach goes back, in fact, 65 years, when he asked if Nelson's would bottle and distribute his Bach remedies. We were therefore delighted when the Bach Centre once again asked us in the late 80s if we would become involved in the bottling and distribution of their remedies.
It's a harmonious relationship. The mother tinctures are prepared at the Bach Centre, observed by Kath Ross, a member of the quality control team, then taken to Nelson's specially prepared bottling plant at Abingdon, just a few miles away. Kath, Sylvia, and many of the original bottling team transferred from Mount Vernon when the bottling plant opened in 1991. The majority of them are still there today. And of course, the methods and proportions that we use to prepare stock bottles at Mount Vernon are still followed scrupulously at Abingdon. The mother tincture is diluted at a ratio of 2 drops of mother tincture to every 30 millilitres of alcohol. Nowadays, this is expressed using the decimal, or X, scale. The terminology may have changed, but the proportions remain faithful to Dr. Bach's original instructions. The alcohol, high-quality brandy prepared especially for the Bach flower remedies, is used as a carrying liquid and to preserve the active mother tincture. It is not itself an active ingredient. Nora Weeks obtained the first licenses for the Bach flower remedies in 1968, and the preparation and dilution procedures for the remedies are lodged with the licensing authorities to ensure that the traditions and standards relating to the preparation can be preserved within today's modern requirements. This, plus the ISO 9000 standards at the bottling plant, represent a guarantee of every process followed. On September the 24th, 1936, Dr. Bach set out from Mount Vernon to give the first of a series of public lectures, hoping in this way to bring his message of simple healing to more people. In 1991, the Bach Centre established the Dr. Edward Bach Foundation to continue the work of education, and in particular to train, register and support practitioners who chose to work with the remedies in the simple way that Dr. Bach intended. Nelson's and the Bach Centre combined efforts in 1993 to set up an education department in order to support this work, and through the Bach International Education Programme, practitioners are now trained in countries as far away as Brazil, Japan and New Zealand. Regular seminars are held for the health professionals, doctors, nurses, midwives and pharmacists. Independent colleges and universities are also encouraged to set up their own courses with the help of the Bach Centre and Nelson's. This work is vital because in Dr. Bach's vision of the healing future, we are all responsible for our own health, and the remedies give us the power to take on that responsibility.
The patient of tomorrow must understand that he and he alone can bring himself relief from suffering, though he may obtain advice and help from an elder brother who will assist him in his effort.
Every practitioner registered with the Foundation is an elder brother, an educator committed to helping people to help themselves with the remedies. Dr. Bach's philosophies were revolutionary in his time and remain so today.
Healing with the clean, pure, beautiful agents of nature is surely the one method of all which appeals to most of us. And deep down in our inner self, surely there is something about it that rings true indeed, something which tells us this is nature's way and is right. The dawn of a new and better art of healing is upon us.
The torch of tradition, faithful in every way to his original ideas, has been passed down through the generations and will continue into the new millennium, safe in the hands of the Bach Centre and Nelson's, ensuring that Bach flower remedies are indeed the medicine of the future.